if we went to 145 building. And then there's about approximately $54,000 a year in utilities to operate the building that would be necessary to keep it open. So the estimated yearly total of financial cost to the district to maintain the current building is about almost $5 million a year. It's about $450,000 a year in operating costs. Conversely, if we put all the students in 4th and 5th grade in the Eisenhower building, we would potentially save that $300,000 in that staffing for the administrative, the principal and the secretary, and there's a half of a teacher's aide as well. We'd have additional savings of potentially $214,000 because as the classes came together, the class sizes would dictate whether or not we need all of the teachers that we have, or if we need all of the specialist teachers that we have. Now, being an educator, I would never recommend to the district that we cut that teacher, but it's something we could look at. And if we couldn't cut them, at least absolutely could repurpose them. So there's a savings in transportation that I mentioned before of $63,000 because we would not need all the buses. And then there's that potential savings of $54,000. Now that's a potential savings because depending on what this board decides, we may or may not have those utility costs, right? If we repurpose the building for another academic need, then we'll still have that cost. But if we decide to sell it or close it, then we would potentially save that $54,000. All told, there's a potential savings of $631,000 a year, which is significant. Not to mention, we have that increase of 540 hours plus of actual time with our experts in front of our children, which is what we want. So what are our other options? And here's the thing, no matter what option we decide upon, we're all going to come at this from different perspectives. And, we would all love to find an academic purpose for that building. However, that academic purpose also has to make financial sense for the taxpayers too. We have to make sure that we are providing an outstanding education, but we also have to make sure that we're doing it in a fiscally responsible manner. So these are a few of the leading options that we discussed in a brief brainstorming session at one of our previous committee meetings. So as for purposes of Horace Mann. And one would be we could find that new academic purpose. Another option would be we maintain the building for future use, regardless of what that might be. We could rent the building or the spaces in the building, or we could sell the building. Those are the four leading options that we were looking at. So what might those look like? Well, if we were to find a new academic purpose, what would that be? Well, number one, the first thing we thought about was an early childhood center. We did a really intensive look at our systems and our priorities with a company called, organization called the National Council on the Education and the Economy. It's a think tank out of Washington, D.C., funded by the Federal Department of Education. And through that work, we identified universal pre-K services as one of the high priority needs for our district. When you look at the highest performing school districts and school entities across the world, all over the world, universal pre-K is a common denominator that they all have. So that's a priority that we could look into. There's always a need to expand career education. ICTC is full, they're bursting at the seams. And career education is a hot item right now. No longer do we have to push kids into college for them to have high earning jobs waiting for them on the other end. So we could possibly look at finding partners to expand our career education in that building. We might be able to have a student support center. There's a significant need for autistic support. That's what ABA stands for, is Autistic Support Services, in this community in Indiana County. They're all full. All the placements for students who have severe needs related to autism or emotional support, there's no place for them to find those services. So maybe we can offer that at Horace Mann. Maybe we look at an alternative education setting. Again, this would be for behavioral management. If a student has a hard time in classes, maybe we can build our own program where we intervene with these students while we keep them in our education system, get their behaviors in check, and get them back into the population as quickly as possible. And these are all just brainstorm ideas. This is just what a new academic purpose might be. There could be others. If we're to maintain the building for future use, Ben Franklin is in bad need of repair and update or replacement. The senior high needs some significant renovations. Down the road, having that space at Horace Mann might be an asset. to the district if we have to close down one of those buildings while we renovate them. So we might want to hang on to it for those purposes. We always have a need for space, for storage. We can move our maintenance center there. There's all kinds of other things we can do with that space to make good financial sense and make good use out of the building. We look at renting the spaces. Again, some of these maybe kill two birds with one stone. Maybe have that early childhood education, but at the same time, generate some revenue for the district by partnering with agencies that provide those services and charging them rent. The same thing with special education partners. The need for these special education services in Indiana County is significant. And if we could find partners that wanted to come work with us, rent our space and help our children, that would be a win-win-win. We can look at community agencies that are always hurting for space, civic organizations, the Tourist Bureau, all those community agencies that don't have a whole lot of money and always need the help and, and are aligned with our mission as well. Or maybe we rent it straight out to private companies that could be generate some significant revenue for the district and taxpayers. The other option would be to sell the building. The location of the building makes it very attractive. It's 3 blocks from everything. It's 3 blocks from Philadelphia Street. It's 3 blocks from campus. It's right close to everything, but it's far enough away that it's on a sleepy little corner all by itself too. So it is an attractive space. The makeup of the space, which is terrible for the principal trying to find her way through the building quickly, does lend itself well to breaking up the space to different kinds of investors who might want to repurpose the first floor for one thing and the second floor for something else. So there's an economic opportunity here that we could maybe capitalize on as well. And judging the fact that it cost the taxpayers $76,000 to build the building, we've more than made out on our investment. Are there other purposes? I'm sure there are. Like I said, this is just the scratch the surface kind of, if you go to slide, please. We just scratched the surface on a brainstorming session. The real work is going to begin at the committee meetings coming up starting next week with academic and extracurricular meeting. We are going to dig in and we're going to vet each and every one of these out. We're going to look at that academic purposes. We're going to look at the potential of renting the building or selling the building, or whether or not we want to hold on to it and just maintain it for future use. We're really going to vet those out at the committee meetings moving forward. Are there other purposes? There probably are, and we want to hear about those. And we want to hear your concerns and your opinions on this matter. If you go, we're going to open this up now to public comment. We need your input. This is a big decision, and it affects us in many different ways. They cannot represent you if they don't know your feelings on this. So you're going to have an opportunity now, if you'd like to speak, to share your ideas, your concerns, ask questions that could be considered at those committee meetings. We're also going to have an option online. It went live, or it's about to go live on our website, where you can enter a comment or a question or an idea through a portal on our form on our website. And that will be open for at least the next 90 days. So if you leave here and you're having a conversation about it and something pops in your head, you can go online very quickly and fill that out. And then at the next committee meeting, they will actually discuss your ideas or answer your questions. So with that, I'd like to open up to public comment. Do we have some people signed up, Jared? Sure. We have a couple of the people who wrote in first. We'll read those.
Thank you. And again, as Mr. Heinrich just said, for any of those who, we are live streaming this, again, maybe you don't want to come up with a microphone or speak now, there's going to be an opportunity throughout that 90-day period for which you're able to submit comments at that point in time. I do have 2 that were submitted that were unable to make it here tonight. The first would be Josephine Cunningham. On February 26th, the district will hold a hearing to consider the vacant Horace Mann Elementary building located at the corner of 5th and School Streets. This is not the first time that Horace Mann has come under scrutiny, but this time things are different within the district. As population has decreased within the district, the need for classrooms has also been diminished. But that does not mean that Horace Mann should die a slow death of closing, selling, and possibly being demolished. Nor should there be a rapid sell-off in classroom condos be the answer to use of the historic building. Why can't the district repurpose the mission of Horace Mann? For a very long time, many have wondered why administrative offices have not been located at such a central location. Parking would certainly not be a problem, nor would space be an issue. Or why not repurpose the building to be a pre-K center, expanding the program to include perhaps other early childhood programs from neighboring districts at a certain fee? Or why not a place to have our alternative education program housed there, to answer the need for a productive instructional center? I do understand the financial constraints school districts are experiencing, but I also know that future planning is absolutely essential for continuing what the district has always done, and that is to provide quality education for all of our students. Finally, as a very long-time observer of 40 years of school boards in our community, I urge you to look at the building as a symbol of the district for longevity and classic impact it has had on the community. It served as a high school long before my husband and I, and later my son attended there. Horace Mann historically has always been part of our community. Please do not make a decision that will set it apart from the community that has helped to educate. Thank you. The next one is from Pat Craig, unable to attend this evening's meeting. However, I would like to comment on the issue facing the school board. I feel having 4 elementary schools in approximately a 5-mile radius is not cost effective. Neighborhood schools are pretty much a thing of the past. Selling the school, eliminating the congestion of the streets as many students are being dropped off and picked up. Money from the sale and savings on overhead could help pay for the mega expense of renovation of Eisenhower School and continue to keep taxes down, but still having qualified staff to support and teach the children. Thank you. Those are the 2 comments in there.
Okay, we're going to open up to those of you who signed up or those of you who want to address the board. This will work just like a public comment in a board meeting. You can come to the podium and speak your mind. There will be a 3-minute time limit on all comments. We can start with Mr. Peter Bro.
Thank you. There was a name ahead of mine, so I wasn't ready to come up, but yes, that's as you may recall, some of you will anyhow, I spoke the last time this came before the public, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Indiana Borough Council. We are one of the communities served by the Indiana Area School District, but the one in which Horace Mann is located. We have in our comprehensive plan a very strong statement saying that we like having walkable neighborhood schools. The county has that in their comprehensive plan too. Well, at least they did. They're currently rewriting that, so I don't know if it will still be there. That having been said, I'm somewhat disappointed, although I understand why, that a discussion by the school board is revolving around money rather than education. But so be it. Money is something, you're a taxing body, you have to take taxpayers into account. I do want to say that the Borough Council of Indiana is not interested in having an abandoned building in our midst. In fact, I'm not sure that would be a legal use of the building to abandon it. We are not interested at this moment anyhow in considering even changing the zoning for that area, which would eliminate a number of the suggested uses, but not all of them by any means. In fact, most of the uses you proposed would fall within the allowed uses of the current zoning. Selling the building would be problematic because of the way the zoning is structured. You would have to get some kind of pass on, unless you sold it to another public body, you would have to get a change in the zoning, which is not going to happen with the current Borough Council anyhow. Who knows in the future? You're not going to do this right away. But we still have a strong bias in favor of walkable neighborhood schools. We have one with Eisenhower. We have the junior high and the high school, which both fit that bill. Horace Mann has been an integral part of that, what used to be Ward 2 community. It would be very sad to see that go, but we also pay taxes. So if it can't be preserved as an elementary school, at least, I like several of your suggestions, but keep it as part of the school system.
Thank you, sir. Ed, is it
Moraz.
Moraz?
Like Jason.
Like Jason Moraz, okay.
Hi, guys. I went to Horace Mann and I graduated from here back in '96. But anyway, I think that they could turn Horace Mann into discounted living for, what do they call that? What's the right term? Affordable apartments or whatever you call it. And they could turn the gym with the kitchen into a homeless shelter. We don't have one. I think that would be good. I don't know. If you don't use it as a school, I mean. But sounds good to me. I don't know. Just my crazy idea. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Eric Parker.
Eric Barker from Indiana Borough. Just like to thank the board for the opportunity to speak tonight. Speak in favor of either keeping Horace Mann and operating elementary school in the school district or a school affiliated entity within Indiana Area School District. Horace Mann has been, the Borough of Indiana has supported keeping a school at the intersection of school and Fifth for over 140 years, and it's proven to be an anchor of the community. It's proven to be popular with its residents, and it's proven to be a very high-performing community school. In fact, Horace Mann and Eisenhower were rated out of the whole Commonwealth as number 1 and number 2 in the Commonwealth for academic performance. It's proven to be a good school, not just for the school children, but also for the residents of that ward. Without this school building serving as an anchor to that area community, it would prevent the easy access for students who choose to walk to school to be in that community school. Also, there are some other alternatives, including if Ben Franklin was going to be, for example, the one that Indiana Area School District was going to get rid of, perhaps it would be a more logical choice given the fact that access on the highway could be higher commercial value, and the fact that Horace Mann has larger classrooms, I believe, than Ben Franklin. We heard from this community in previous years when a previous school district tried to close both Horace Mann and Eisenhower at the same time, that it was an extremely unpopular move with both residents and all 4 municipalities within Indiana Area School District. As many of you may recall, it was a universal opposition from not only all 12 members of Indiana Area School Board, but also all 5 White Township supervisors. Also, Chillicothe Borough and Armstrong Township supervisors were opposed. Even Representative Abe Reed spoke against that proposal that would have shuttered both of Indiana Borough's high-performing elementary school buildings. As Dr. Peter Broad alluded to and mentioned, that the Indiana County Comprehensive Plan opposes the closing of any community schools, walkable community schools, and I believe that plan also requests or requires the school district to consult the county if any closure of a school building is being entertained. So in conclusion, I'd like to encourage the school board directors to take everything into consideration, including the values of Indiana Borough. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we'd like to see if anyone else has anything to share. Mrs. Swashi?
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Krista Savage, and I used to work at Indiana Area School District as a vice principal and then a principal of Horace Mann. And one of the things I just wanted to note was the extreme pull on the personnel. And I do know about high-performing students and schools, and it always starts with the personnel and the instruction. And the hours that the personnel that is like highly effective in this Indiana Area School District can spend with the students. One of the things that I've loved since you decided to put 4 or 5 together is that the personnel can be housed more condensedly with the students longer and more often. And I just wanted to also say, with your MTSS coordination with the district, my kids are starting to see the difference now. The data was shown to me at the conference, and I saw the growth in my 7th grader, and that's because of what you could do and concentrate your resources on, which is the people. So we can't let the system get in the way of what good people can do. And I think that we have to grow as the people are growing, and sometimes it is about money, and I think today it is. And that's where I would like to leave my comment. Thank you, from experience.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you for your work. I really appreciate it.
I didn't sign up, but can I say?
That's okay. What's your name? I can't see
Sorry.
the name.
I'm Nicole Cephas. I'm the Indiana Borough Manager. And Peter did talk on behalf of the Borough Council. And I just want to say, we have a planner, a recently new planner that is an Indiana graduate and a IUP graduate that's been doing a year's worth of comp research, going out there in the public, and he has a lot of public input for Indiana Borough. So I just would like to know that the Indiana Borough is here to support you guys, and I think why with our new planner, he's willing to work with you guys on behalf of what you have planned. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thanks for all your work.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Again, I would like to remind you that if an idea pops in there, if a question comes up, if you have a concern that you didn't think about here this evening that you want to share, on our website, anytime you go there for the next several weeks, you're going to see a pop-up that says, would you like to make a comment? You click on that, it'll take you to a web page that you'll be able to view this presentation, you'll be able to see the stenographer report, you'll be able to leave a comment. Those comments will all be shared with the committees each and every Monday, and will be considered, answered, addressed. Because we need your input, we need your participation in this decision. With that, hearing anything else, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Schroeder.
Okay, again, I would like to thank everybody for coming. Do appreciate your comments. I want to reiterate that the majority of the work that we will do will happen at the committees. I would especially invite everybody to attend as many of those as you can and participate in that manner. I'll make one last call for public comment. Once, twice, thrice. Okay, at this point in time, this concludes our hearing. Thank you again for coming out this evening.
Thank you, everyone.